What word describes moving a program or other material from a website to your computer?
What do we call a picture that a doctor takes to see inside your body?
What crime has someone stealing items from a shop committed? Shop-fitting or shoplifting?
If someone is feeling a little ill, they may say they are feeling under the what?
Who is the person in charge of a football match?
What do we call the last game in a sporting competition which decides the champion?
What is the general term for paintings of the countryside or natural views?
Which of these would probably be found in an office? A printer, a blanket, or a nail brush?
What is a painting of a person's head usually called?
Where would you find an urban area, in a city or in the countryside?
What do we call it when the moon completely blocks out the light from the sun?
What point of the compass is directly opposite east?
Where do you pay for your purchases at a supermarket?
What do you call an apartment that is below ground level? A basement apartment or a penthouse apartment?
What feature do pianos and computers have in common?
If you are feeling fed up, is it a positive or a negative feeling?
What do we call a period of 10 years?
A specialist who repairs leaking water pipes is called a
famous canal links the Mediterranean Sea with the Indian Ocean. Is it the Corinth or the Suez Canal?
Where would you store meat you wish to keep frozen at home?
What is the most important document you would have to show if you wanted to hire a car?
Where would you go to work out on a treadmill?
What piece of equipment would you use to go diving in the sea? An aqualung or an aquaplane?
Where would you most likely go to buy some flour? A bakery, a florist, or a supermarket?
Which hospital department would you go to for an X-ray? Radiology or cardiology?
Where would you go to see an exhibition of sculpture?
Would you measure the volume of bottled water in litres or kilos?
What's the joint called where your hand is connected to your arm?
Which section of a train timetable will tell you what time your train leaves? Two.
What do we call the list of steps that tell you how to put something together?
Three.
What do we call the meeting where an employer asks a potential employee questions about their work experience?
Four.
What desk should you go to when you first arrive to stay at a hotel?
Five.
What is the job title of someone who designs buildings?
Six.
What term is used for the amount of money you pay a landlord for living in their house or apartment?
Seven.
What do we call the first meal of the day?
Eight.
What word is used for someone who watches a sports event?
Nine.
What object would you use to climb up to the roof of a house?
Ten.
If you don't feel like eating, what do we say you don't have?
What do we call the organs in our chest that we use to breathe?
Two.
If someone lives in an urban area, where do they live?
Three.
What does a king or queen wear on their head at official ceremonies?
Four.
What do we call a book that contains lists of words with their meanings?
5.
What is the source of solar energy?
6.
When the writer of a book is unknown, what word is used for the author?
7.
What do we call a company or organization that gives money to a sports or arts event in exchange for advertising?
8.
What do we call the study of living things?
9.
What are winter, spring, summer and autumn?
10.
What is a collective term for cows and bulls, especially on a farm?
'If something is not expensive, what do we say it is?
2.
What do people wear if they can't see very well?
3.
If something such as fabric or medicine is artificially made, not natural, what do we say it is?
4.
What type of food is an apple?
5.
How many months are in a year?
6.
What is the opposite of east?
7.
When ice is at room temperature, what does it become?
8.
Which sweet food is produced by bees?
9.
Where can people go to borrow books?
10.
Who serves food in a restaurant?
'What is the word in geometry for a shape that has 3 sides?
2.
What do you call the alphabetical list at the end of a textbook that tells you where to find specific information?
3.
What is the word for the place where a river starts?
Four.
Who is the main journalist responsible for producing a newspaper or magazine?
Five.
A business doesn't want to make a loss. What does it want to make?
Six.
What is the economic sector that deals with farming?
Seven.
What do you call the very long essay that students have to write for a doctoral degree?
Eight.
What is the word for a period of 100 years?
Nine.
At what ceremony do students receive their degree or diploma at the end of their period of study?
Ten.
What do we call the date that a piece of work must be finished by?
Which section of a newspaper gives the editor's opinion?
What instrument would you use to examine very small objects or life forms?
What is a destructive program that spreads from computer to computer?
What term is used for animals such as humans that usually give birth to live young, mammals or reptiles?
What do you call a system of government in which people vote for the people who will represent them?
What do we call the piece of paper that proves you have bought an item?
What do you call the document that gives details about your qualifications and work experience?
How would you describe an economy based largely on farming?
What is the study of the stars and planets called?
In business and advertising, what does PR stand for?